Thousands of people took to the streets overnight in Kolkata, in India, to demand justice in the case of a 31-year-old training doctor who was raped and murdered last month. Doctors have been leading protests since the August 9th killing, large-scale demonstrations, candlelight vigils. They're renewing calls now for stricter laws to protect the safety of women. Our South Asia correspondent is Salima Shivji, and she's live with us on the story from Mumbai. Today, Salima, the Supreme Court hearing into the case, it was supposed to be held. It's been postponed. Can you bring us up to date on what's happening?
That's right, Heather. At that hearing, we were supposed to get an update into the criminal investigation into this crime from the body in charge, India's Central Bureau of Investigation. But the hearing was just postponed because the Chief Justice is absent today, and no further date has been set from the Supreme Court to get that type of update into that criminal investigation. But the calls for justice, as you said, have just gotten louder. They have not died down in any way, shape, from the thousands of people that gathered at that protest in Kolkata in Western India last night. There were shouts for "We want justice." Those were ringing out very frequently during that protest, as well as prayers. There were chants and prayers for the victim and candles lit. And, it's been nearly a month since a 31-year-old trainee doctor was sexually assaulted and killed when she was on arrest in a break room during a very long shift at the public hospital, the training hospital where she worked. And her family, of course, is inconsolable a month later at this. I spoke with her father as well as her mother about this case, and he had to actually stop the interview several times because he just, could not continue. He was breaking down in tears. He says, this is the worst thing that ever happened to their family. They say every day actually starts with crying and ends with crying as well. And they said their daughter, their only daughter, she was an only child. She came from a poor family, but she worked so hard to fulfill her dream to become a doctor, and to have that dream ripped away from her. The father says it's just the worst thing to happen. Their dreams have been shattered, not just for their daughter, but of course for the whole family. Now, he says that it's been a very difficult time, that the police, he alleges, didn't really want to investigate the case fully. He says they tried to suppress the case initially. He even alleges they offered a bribe to keep the family quiet, an allegation that the police have not yet responded to. But they are just waiting for answers. He says the only way for the family to move forward is to get more answers and to keep pushing for justice, and to push for tougher laws in terms of safety for women. And that's precisely what the female doctors and the colleagues of this victim are also pushing for, to make things a little bit more safe for female doctors, particularly at this hospital in Kolkata.
Salima, as we look at these pictures, it's not just anger and emotion and sadness for the family, but obviously for so many people right across the country. Has anything changed? Is anything being done to improve safety for female doctors?
Well, look, just in general, for safety for women in general, West Bengal, the state where this happened, has already pushed through tougher laws for really severe rape cases. So that has already gone through that legislation. But in terms of the doctors, they do say they go to work in these very unsafe conditions in public hospitals. This hospital in particular, it's a sprawling campus, a lot of buildings, and doctors have to be up at all hours. So a lot of the female colleagues of this victim that I spoke with say that they still fear for their safety. Take a listen.
We are working with lots of basic amenities. We do not have a proper restroom. They do not have a proper washroom. Even we do not have proper security deployed here. We have been working like this, and such a thing happened, and we are all very shook to the core that what are we working for and how are we working in this environment.
Now, the hospital has promised change, more CCTV cameras, as well as more controlled entries into the hospital. But the doctors that I spoke with are not too optimistic. They say reforms were promised 5 years ago, and they have seen not much change.
Salima, thank you very much.